Hi, I'm Kimberley Wilson, part of the Dr. Oetker Even Better Baking team, and I'm going to show you how to make triple chocolate and ginger hot cross Chelsea buns for Easter. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to soak my fruit, and we do that so that when you bake it, it doesn't burn in the oven. So I've got 100 grams of mixed fruit here. Just going to cover that with boiling water and then just leave that to sit for about 30 minutes while you get on with the rest of the dough. Here I've got 500 grams of strong bread flour, and to that I'm going to add 7 grams of fast action yeast, a pinch of salt, and 75 grams of caster sugar. A teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a teaspoon of ground ginger. And then just make sure that that's fully mixed in. So the next part is to melt 50 grams of unsalted butter in a pan, and once that's melted, I'm going to add 100 grams of Dr. Oetker Fine Cook's dark chocolate. And then we're going to add 300 ml of soy milk. And once that's all melted together, we'll add that to the dry ingredients. And just with your fingers, bring that together. It's going to be quite sticky, but don't worry. The more you work it, the more it will come together. And the stickier the dough, the softer the crumb. Nearly there. So just tip that out onto a clean surface, and really just however you like to knead it is the way to knead it. It can be quite difficult to think of the best way to knead, but whichever way works for you is the best way. And that is our dough. So I'm just going to pop that into an oiled bowl and cover it over with a little bit of cling film. I'm going to leave that until it's doubled in size. So you can see that that is easily doubled in size. Lightly flour my surface, tip the dough out onto the surface, press it out, and take a rolling pin and just roll the dough out. That should be right. I'm going to turn it back 90 degrees and then we'll be ready to add the fillings. I've got 100 grams of crystallized ginger, and I'm going to add 100 grams of milk chocolate chips and 50 grams of dark chocolate chips, as well as our fruit. Make sure it's all evenly distributed. I'm just going to brush the surface of the dough with 50 grams of unsalted butter. And now we're just going to sprinkle the fruit in an even layer all over the top. Leave about an inch, so when you roll it, it's not spilling out of the edge. Cut 12 buns out of this. And I'm just going to pop them into a deep roasting tin, which I've just lightly buttered. Cut side up, and then we're going to cover that with cling film again and leave that again to prove until there's about just a centimetre space between each one, and then we know that they're ready for the oven. Oh, and those look really good. While they're still hot, I'm just going to glaze them. So they're completely cool now. So I've just melted 70 grams of Dr. Oetker Fine Cook's chocolate and popped that into a piping bag. And then I like to just pop them into the fridge for about 10 minutes to set that chocolate, and then they are good to go. So get involved making your own triple chocolate and ginger hot cross Chelsea buns this Easter. And for the full recipe, tips and trends, go to evenbetterbaking.oetker.co.uk.